Hi Virgo, this is Heather, the medium on a mission, and I'm bringing you your October forecast. So this will be for Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. And just to, as I do with all the readings, I'll explain my process a little bit because I do things differently than certainly most readers. I'm not a traditional tarot card reader. I'm a medium, and so I get a lot of channeled insights. So I'll bring through the energies that I'm getting as it relates to the channeled messages. And the way that I do things, I'll do the body, mind, and spirit. And so I'll do kind of a 3-card spread. It can serve for the body, mind, and spirit, or it can also be past, present, and future. Whatever way resonates for you, that's what's for you. And so it's going to be different for all people. So this is a general reading, but I will try to, as much as possible, pull on the energies of the collective so that we get kind of the most energy for what we're working with at the time. And so with that being said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the elements that are occurring. I'll just incorporate them if it feels like the energy's coming in. I know some of my intros, and I apologize if any of you guys have any other corresponding signs that you've listened to. They're a bit long, but I just felt like it was relevant to talk about the energies of them. And so, but I won't do it for these ones. You can refer back to those if necessary. So with that, when I did tune into your energy, I got a couple things. Number one, I did get a feeling of a steadfast energy. It's a feeling of it's almost like, I don't know where you guys, I'm not an astrologer either. I'm kind of in the process of really kind of studying and trying to understand it, but I always let spirit kind of give me the guidance in terms of what's going on just based off the energies. And what I'm getting for you, Virgo, is very much this feeling of, it's a slow and steady pace, but it feels like it's starting to pick up steam is all I can say. It's almost like I see the train, and it's kind of, it's going and it's going, and it's getting faster. But I feel like some of you might be sort of at the beginning of those kind of areas and the change that's occurring. And so I feel like the biggest message for you is just to kind of give it some time. It's interesting. So you guys are the 6th house, and Pisces is the 12th, and there's a relation there. And so it's this feeling of it being completely on kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. It's kind of the 180. But because of that, I feel like there's something, because I do feel like for Pisces, the energies is getting very intense. It's going to be really good and big, but they're more further along in terms of that, is I guess the way that I would say it. So, but I feel like you guys are at the point where you're kind of starting to experience some of the things that they've been experiencing for a while. And so at any rate, that's what I'm getting in terms of that. I am also getting a feeling of an older gentleman that's coming forward. It's a male energy. Let me put it that way. It's a male energy. So I'm getting this strong male energy. And it's interesting. It's almost like I'm getting in it. There could be the B, like a Mr. B, or a name with a B that's in the name. But I also get this feeling of, it's almost like the physical characteristics I get. Sometimes when I tune into people, they'll give me certain things. And there's something about like the extra skin. So it's almost like you have a rooster where it has the extra skin at the bottom. There's something significant about that as well. And so I just get this feeling of almost like a little bit of a hesitation of the energy, but you always have success, but you do it in a way that you do it slow and pragmatic, but it's in a way that is serving of others in yourself, if that makes sense. And so I guess the feeling that I'm getting around that, Virgo tends to be the sign of the perfectionist and whatnot, but I feel there's something about the methodical approach and the way in which you're sort of doing something right now, that you're doing it in a way that it's like, it's almost like that scientist that's kind of in there doing some research and trying to like, don't want to roll out a theory, or kind of like when Einstein rolled out a theory and it was disproven and it devastated him, and then he came back and figured out the real equation. That's kind of what I'm getting. And so just this feeling of kind of trying to get it right the first time, but because of that, the energy is more slow moving. I'm not an astrologer, again, I'll say that again, but there's something in your sign that's going slower, the energy, but it's not in a bad way. It's more of, I need to spend some more time in this space so that I get it right, or my energy is focused. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump in because I feel the time is right to do so. And so I'll be using a few different decks here. My readings have been a little bit longer, but I felt the need to use the different decks. So I'll be using the Energy cards by Sandra Taylor, Good Tarot cards by Colette Baron Reed, and I will be using my When Spirit Speaks deck as well. And I've got these Affirmator cards that are cute little unicorn cards that I picked up on Amazon, and I'll leave the link to all of these as well. And then these Halloween cards as well. So just wanted to incorporate a bunch of different variety here and kind of see how they all go together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so from a body perspective, Spirit, what messages do you have for Virgo from a body perspective? Let's see what Spirit has to say for you at this time. Okay, and this one popped out here. All right, a man holding a coin. Okay, and so that's card 7. It's interesting because I think it was Pisces. I can't remember the last one, but there was that got this. There was a female. I think it was Pisces. It's interesting that there's a connection there with the Pisces, because the Pisces, it was a female holding the coin. And so there's something significant about this. This feels like, so anytime I get a masculine card, it doesn't necessarily have to, it could be a male that's involved that's sort of helping you with some of the things you're doing, but it also feels like it might be something where with the work that you're doing, you sort of have to step into that more masculine energy in which to assert yourself. So I feel like there's certain conditions that you're going through at this time within the physical, the 3D, that you're having to really sort of assert what you want and be a little bit more bold in ways that you maybe not always comfortable with. So it's kind of the business element of life. And so I feel like there might be a project or something somebody's working on, or there might be you might be negotiating a new contract. You might be, if you're a small business owner, you might have something like that going on. This might also be a situation at school where you really have to kind of stand up for what you believe in and kind of go toe to toe with someone, but in the name of defending a position or stance. And so there might be that as well. There might be some political things going on as well. I don't like to bring that all into, that energy, but it feels like there might be something like that as well. So I would never say that if I didn't feel it. All right, so let's pull the next card here and see what Spirit has to say as it relates to the physical presence of what's going on for Virgo for the month of October. Okay. And as I'm shuffling right now, this is really, again, this is just Spirit energy coming forward. I do get, there's something significant to like ice cream. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm getting, it's almost like this person holding an ice cream cone. There's something around that. Let's see, keep going here. It feels like it's around too the sweetness of like wanting something but knowing that you might have to pay for it later. Definitely feels around that energy. So, okay, let's see. I have 2 cards that flopped and I'm going to keep them both. So we've got the Moon and we've got the Hanged Man. Okay, so really much the Hanged Man goes exactly aligned with what I was indicating here. And so we've got card 43, which is 7, and then we've got an 8 and a 1, and then we've got 18 and then 12. So specifically what I'm getting for this here is it's kind of along the lines of what what I was mentioning here, but the Hanged Man is very obvious to me in terms of what that is. The Moon, I feel like with that there's some hidden things coming up, right? And so there might be this goes back to a conversation or feeling like you might have to kind of step into your masculine space and really kind of assert yourself. There might be some things that you're doing that you're really trying to vie for a position or make your way, or maybe have a difficult conversation with someone in your life. As I say that, I do feel like there might be a male energy where you feel like you have to have a conversation where things have not been going the way that they should, and the feeling of not being of equal balance is what I'm getting as well. And so I just feel like there's something around the equality and about justice that's coming forward, but I feel like there's a hesitancy within the 3D around doing this. There's something around that where it feels like this wanting to sort of delay that, or not quite sure if the time is right, and the feeling of, do I do this now or do I do it later? But I feel that energy around this, and so Spirit's just acknowledging that as well. All right, so let's go to the, so that was the physical space. Let's go to the mind, so what you're thinking about at this time as it relates to this situation. And so, again, I just feel like Spirit's acknowledging this situation, and it feels like there's something around timing with it, that I feel like that molasses, that slow moving energy, but it feels like this is all part of sort of the process of what you need to go through right now to experience and take it in fully. So, all right, okay, so, and as I said that, this patient card popped out. So, yeah, pretty much exactly, the feeling of needing that patience. Nobody likes that card. I mean, if we're being honest, it's kind of one of those, it's like, really, because we don't hear that enough, but it just feels like this is all about the timing. And yeah, I mean, she's got a clock there and she's saying patience. I think it explains for itself. And so exactly what, the energies, it's just have patience around the situation, that it is progressing, it is moving forward. It's just a slow moving energy. And so, I wish I knew more about the charts for Virgo specifically, that I could validate that, but there's something in your chart that's in I don't know if it's an Neptune. I don't know. I'm not going to even pretend to know. But there's something around in your area that's moving slowly, and it's causing a lesson. As I'm saying that, I'm going into the heart chakra as well. So I feel like there might be some emotional things attached to this, that it's really just sort of a heavy having to work through. But again, I just feel like Spirit's guiding you with this and knowing that you're going to be okay, and this is all part of the process. So let me see what else here. Okay, and then the Queen of Water. Okay, so, and while I was shuffling this card, I was getting a female energy. This might be attached to a mother, and so if the Queen of Water, so that would be obviously a water sign. There might be someone that would be, I don't know, if mother energy that's connected to that, but there's something about this kind of feminine mother-like energy that I'm getting. It could she could be crossed over, she could be here, but it's the feeling of them sort of watching over you and helping guide you through this situation. So again, this would be a feminine water sign, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And there's something, I have to tell you, there's something really connected, because again, this is the male that's coming through here with the coin, and the Pisces reading had the female holding the coin. So there is some sort of connection between you and Pisces this month. I'm not sure what that is, but this feeling of the Queen of Water sort of being in this space and just holding the patience for you right now while you sort of wait for this progression of what you're going through. And I'm going to pick one of my cards. It's interesting. So my intent was to pick all three, but I missed picking one of my cards for the front, but that's okay. Like, I feel like that I wasn't supposed to. So for whatever reason, they came out the way they did, but Spirit's like, because I just heard pick your cards now. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. But that's okay. I'm just being guided to go where I need to go. So I'm trusting Spirit on this one. So Spirit, what messages do you have from a mind perspective, in terms of what's going on in their space at this time? What's the energies that's coming into this space? Okay, celebration. All right, that's perfect. And so I think that really just sort of sums up this kind of whatever this is. It's a slow moving energy. It's working through your space, but there's a celebration that you are getting to. This is all for a purpose, and it's all for being able to kind of celebrate in the long run. Just like if somebody's writing a book or something, it's a long process to write a book. You really have to kind of go through it all, but it's the feeling of it being worth it in the long run. And look at the Queen is looking at this. She's looking at the celebration here, and it's coming in your direction. And so it just feels like hang tight, it's going to get there. And some of you may have obviously some of you would have celebrated a birthday at the end of September. And so anyone who's taking this in the past, present, or future, this is kind of indicating what this is. So this would be your past, and this would be your future, or your present, with the birthday celebration there as well. So All right, so let's keep going, and we're going to go into the spirit perspective. And so as I'm just sort of shuffling right now, I do have a ringing in my ear, and so I'm not sure what that is, but I'm feeling kind of the spirit. Spirit might be, you might be getting messages from spirit lately, that you might hear them. You might be kind of getting guided messages, but might be dismissive of them. But pay attention whenever you get that ringing sound. Look at what time it is. What time is it? So there's something significant to the time. So if you look at your clock, like right now where I'm at, it's 4:50, and so it's like, okay, so that's, if it's 4:50, then it could be 9 or something. So kind of trying to look at that and seeing what that means for you. So let me keep going here. Yeah, I definitely get the ringing big time. All right. Spirit, what messages do you have for Virgo for the month of October? What are some of the things coming into their space? I'm also getting a lot of relationships for you as well. I'm getting a massive orange color here in terms of the sacral chakra, and that's popping up, and that's always my sign of it being in kind of the relationship. And as I did that, 3 cards fell, and I'm taking them. So the garden and the gate, envy, and a man holding a heart. Wow, okay. So there's something too. This might be involving a relationship. There might be involving a third party relationship where there's a little bit of envy towards a situation. This is pretty interesting here. So again, this profound or this steadfast sort of energy might also be connected to a romantic relationship. This man sort of holding this coin, and there's something where you're sort of waiting. Are we going to be together? Is this going to happen? I really, this sort of desire for that relationship. I don't usually focus a lot on love in my relationships, but if they come up, then I just go with it. And so it's obvious to me in this, here's what they're saying. And so, again, this might feel like it's slow moving energy, but just, it's obvious that Spirit's saying, look, this is where you're going. This is what's happening for you. So you've got this female here that's sort of looking for her prince and wanting that relationship, and the feeling of others maybe not always being in support of that, or maybe the circumstances, it feels like it's not in alignment. But here in the end, he's holding a heart. And this, look at this, the man holding a coin, and here he's holding a heart. And so coin to me is closest that you can get to a physical vibration, because it's physical, right? It's not, it's in the 3D. The Spirit there's not a concept of coins and money. That's not relevant to them. Heart, love is spirit. And so this is quite amazing to have these bookends to this reading. Holy crap. So, come on. So you guys, there's something big coming in terms of a celebration. It might be the romantic. Again, it doesn't have to be that concept of romance though as well. It could be in terms of like wanting to achieve whatever this is, but it's the feeling of when you align your heart with your passions in this physical life, then it comes to fruition. But it takes time. With the Hangman, you've got the Patience. Those 2 cards right next to each other, come on. So it's all there, but you're working through this. The celebration is at hand, and it's coming your way. So that's quite amazing. So let's pull a general energy card for the Halloween Tarot for you for this month. This can go in any number of directions. I feel like it's going to be different for different people, obviously, but there's a couple tracks that are going on here as well. So I also do feel like this might be involving a move, where there's some a decision that has to be made around this, but there's a little bit of dragging of the feet. And it's like, again, this goes back to this is really strong. It's the head and the heart, right? The head and the heart. So the heart being this, and then the head being the coin. And so you've got literally in between those two, you've got all of these cards that make up the emotions of the head, between the head and the heart. So quite amazing. And you've got the moon with the shadow elements as well, like the ego talking yourself out of it. Oh my gosh, should I do this? I don't know. So let's see here. Pull a card from the Halloween Spirit. What messages do you have for Virgo for the month of October? Okay. And the 7 of Pumpkins. So that's very much about sort of just sitting back and waiting. Again, you have another Patience card. Oh man, you guys, you're gonna hate me. And I'm just looking here. The pumpkins are the earth signs. So This is obviously not a traditional tarot, so it's not clear on what those are. But so that's that for this particular deck. The earth sign, this would be for the earth sign, so it's the pentacles. And so so with that, you would either have a Taurus, well, you guys being an earth sign as well, so, or a Taurus or a Capricorn. But I really feel like this is for you guys. Like, I really feel this is you. This is waiting. It's, you know, we've got the hunter's moon that's coming up, the energies that's coming in. You're sort of sitting back waiting for it. And so you have several cards around here saying that. So if this can serve of no other purpose as to just let you know that sit tight, it's coming your way, that's what's needed at this time. So I am going to pull one of my other cards here. So I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to do that. Let's see, Spirit, what other message do you have regarding this waiting? What other information can you give at this time as it relates to that? Okay, envision. All right, perfect. All right, so as I'm sort of tuning into this, I'm really drawn to the celebration and the colors up here as well, the colors of the balloon. This is the time that Spirit's telling you, what do you want? What do you really want? You know, it's kind of that song that, like, what kind of world do you want? Think anything. You know, you've got to vision it first. Whatever you want, it's yours, but you've got to create it. And so whatever can get you from this, you know, head to heart situation and through the middle, you need to sort of, as you take this time use this sort of patience and waiting time to envision really what your dreams are and what are you seeking. What you are seeking is seeking you. But if you're not seeking anything, then some people say, you know, why are things not going in the right direction? What do you want to do? You have a vision, well, not really. I'm sort of waiting on, you know, Spirit to tell me. It doesn't work that way. Spirit doesn't you don't come into this life and Spirit tells you what you're supposed to do. It's like a moth to a flame. You're drawn to it. It's like dogs are intended to, you know, like bones. Dogs, like, that's who they are. That's their sort of genetics, right? That's who they are. It's the same thing. Like when it's within you and it's so deep inside of you, you're drawn to it. And so whatever that is, it feels like there's something, again, for you guys where you might have a passion that you love dearly. This is your soul's passion. But you're thinking about the money and how can I make that happen? How can I bring this into physical manifestation? Because it's like my heart's guiding me here, but I need to make money in this life. So this came up for another sign. I can't remember exactly. I think it was Pisces as well. Oh my gosh, yeah, I think there was a connection with Pisces. Very similar. I would encourage you to go watch the Pisces video as well. Even if you don't have a connection there's something there. So I feel like additional messages are for you there. But anyway, Spirit's saying envision what this is, because sometimes when you're in that space of sort of slow progressing, it's for you to take the time to figure out what you really want, right? Nobody does well when there's, you know, if you're on a game show and there's a time clock that it's like, give us an answer right now. Everybody freezes. It's like, I don't know. Spirit, this is the time for you to really envision what you want. Using all of these, you've got plenty of sort of waiting, patient cards here. And so use this time to envision this life of what you really want, intend for yourself. So yeah, definitely Spirit's coming in really hard for you on this message, because I'm getting really lightheaded as I say that, and that's when my vibration raises a lot. And so they're just really wanting to emphasize that message for you. So let's see what final affirmation card Spirit has for you. What does Spirit want to affirm for you for the month of October for Virgo? Yeah, definitely a strong Pisces connection for you guys. All right. Worthiness. Okay, I am worthy of the ultimate happiness. I deserve and accept it, and damn it, I'm not going to feel guilty about it when I get it. Guilt is not invited to my happiness party. I won't even tell him where it's at. If he asks about it, I'll be like, no, I think you're thinking of something else. And then I'll run away very quickly. So I just have to tell you, that really answers the question that I was sort of wondering about with this, and it's kind of the envy, right? And so this isn't necessarily saying someone's envious of your situation or, you know, you have jealousy. it could be for some of you, but I also feel like this is within yourself. It's looking at maybe the situation and circumstances of others with a sense of envy. And it's like, what about me? When's this happening for me? But you have to create that. You have to envision it for yourself, but you also have to know and believe that you're worth it. And so sometimes, we sit back and see other people having success or kind of going through things, and we're like, well, why can't that be me? Or, when's it going to be my time? And it's like, you have to believe that you're worth it first and foremost, because spirit can't make you feel that energy if you don't have it within yourself. And again, that's free will. That's part of the human experience. You have to get it right within your own space. But you also have to take out any sort of those lower vibrations that are not serving of you and those thoughts, and just hold a positive vision of your future. Forget about all the outliers. Forget about all the what ifs, those type of things. Just stay focused and keep your eye on the prize. And I really think that this will be an amazing month for you. But again, just be patient with yourself. Use this time in which to paint what you want on your canvas so that it can come out to the beauty of what you want in this life. So I do hope this was helpful, Virgo. Again, I would highly encourage you to check out the Pisces video. It sounds like you've got some overlap there in terms of the energies, definitely. And I wish you all the best for October. Many blessings, and namaste.